I grew up in northeast Victoria, up in Beechworth, and my former working life was a fitter and machinist as a tradesman for about 10 years before I got into ambulance. And my dad, being an engineer, he passed on a love of working with your hands and working with tools, and if there's a task to be done, learn how to do it yourself and equip yourself with the tools. I did my apprenticeship in Albury, so I'd stop on the way through Albury at Norriel Park and jump in the river in my clothes, and then climb back into my car and drive through the KFC drive-through and drive home with the windows down and the stereo full tilt, dripping wet, happy as a clam. I just love my bikes. I'm not amazingly competitive, I just love riding, especially if you can share that with somebody, be up the bush in a largely untouched location, or macho chest beating exercise of pacing each other along a road and so you can hold speed for the greatest time. But yeah, just the joys being out on the bike. Growing up in northeast Victoria, it's God's country. I think both my parents sort of instilled in me a love of the outdoors, and the other thing that was important in that is, as a child, we had a lot of freedom. It wasn't uncommon for us to ride out the front gate at 8 o'clock in the morning, and Mum's only instructions were, just tell me which direction you're headed so I know where to start the search if you're not back by nightfall. So we had this wonderful opportunity to explore. And so when my friend Michael mentioned to me this embryonic idea of attempting to walk from Burma to India, there's a couple of things about it. Firstly, the challenge is monumental. This is going to be pretty hard. But the other thing is, Burma's always had this air of mysticism about it. There's lots of parts of the country that we really don't know what's going on, and for a long time there was no media coverage, and so it was an undefined. So at every level it sounded like a bit of an adventure. The expression I've used on a number of occasions is that we found ourselves in the centre of a spider web of all these apparently disparate elements and unrelated groups and unrelated events that all converge on us. So we've been very lucky. We've had a lot of people's help. It just coalesced that I found myself in the leadership role. It was never a conscious decision on anybody's part. That was just how things evolved. Getting increasingly excited, a little bit nervous too. I think when we get off the train in Myitkyina and the shoulder our packs and look off into the distance at those massive mountains and 500 kilometres ahead of us, I think momentarily the smiles will disappear off everybody's faces. I'd like to thank everybody who supported us. We've had enormous amounts of support from our family and from our friends, a number of different organisations that we will thank at a later date. Without the contributions and the efforts and the thoughts of other people, this would never have even got as far as what it has.